Hello, everyone. Welcome to another week of What Would It Cost? Today, we're sitting down with the Executive Vice President of CBRE, Pat Viele, and we're going to talk about everything to do with commercial real estate. We're going to talk about everything to do with how to be a rock star, entrepreneur, amazing dad, and superhero of a husband. This guy's got a lot going on, and just excited to hop on this with you.
Thank you very much, Nick. That was quite the intro. Okay,
So,
cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, what I really, really respect the space that you're in and commercial. It has a whole level of sophistication of its own and a lot of moving parts,
Yes.
to say the least, and very different from the residential side. So
Yes.
I know that there's so many questions I want to ask you, but let's start with that, right? Why commercial? How'd you get into that side?
I got into commercial by fluke. I had a brother in the business. I come from four brothers. So I have four kids and I have three brothers, obviously. And so one of my brothers was in the business and he had done really well back in 87, 88, 89. And he kind of convinced me and my twin to come into the business. And we got into the business, and it just so happened that he fell on the commercial side of it and not the residential side, because the guy he was talking to that brought him into the business was a commercial agent. So when I went to get my real estate license and thought I was doing this, I thought I was going to be selling houses originally. I didn't know there was a commercial component to it, because as a kid at 20 years old or 21 years old, the last thing I knew was commercial real estate.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the word meant.
That's how young you were when you got into it?
Yeah.
20, wow.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 34 years.
Holy smokes. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
I'm 45 now.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Hey, I believe it.
If somebody does the math watching this, they're going to know that ain't true. But anyway, so that's how I ended up doing it. It was just by default. And then my brothers and I that were in the business at the time, because there was three of us in the business, were smart enough to recognize that, to really be in this business, you've got to be with a bigger firm, somebody that can teach you the ropes on how to grow a commercial business, because most offices that we had seen were geared towards residential.
Right.
And so that's how I ended up at CBRE with my two brothers there.
Right.
And then from that point on, we stuck it out. I've been there for a very long time. I've been with CB I was only a year and a half before I joined CB in the business total. So I've been there for 33 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very long time. So that's how I got started in it. It is a completely different animal. I was at it for almost 5 years, and I was ready to hang up my shingle and go sell houses, because it was a really tough business. It's very hard to break into at a young age, because if you're 20 or 21 and so you're going to be set front and center of a guy who's making a decision to sell or buy an asset that's typically larger than the value of a home.
Right.
He's not going to put that much trust in a 21-year-old.
100%. Yeah.
So it's a bit of a grind of a business. So there's a mentoring program that we follow. You start off young, you join up with an older guy, you get a lead, you bring the older guy to the table, because nobody's really going to trust you to do the deal. That's how you start, right?
Cool. Yeah.
So it took me 5 years before I really got ramped up and going to do what I do.
Yeah.
And to earn a decent living at it, to call it a career.
Yeah. And good for you for sticking it out that long, too.
Yeah.
Especially at a young age, to know that if I could stay in this path and continue
Nick, I had nothing out of school. I came out of grade 12.
Right.
So I had no education. I didn't go to school to be a lawyer or an accountant. I didn't take a business class, a marketing class that I could fall back on and say, this ain't working out. I'm going to go do this.
Right.
There's no choice.
Right.
And sometimes, being in a corner creates the best ingenuity, right?
Yeah.
Going hungry creates the best ingenuity. You figure it out somehow. You scratch your head and you go, geez. I want to get married. I want to have a family. Like, what am I doing? I need to do this. I need to make it happen. And you make it happen.
Figure it out.
You figure it out.
Very cool. That's awesome. And I've had the pleasure of working with one of your daughters, which you have three beautiful daughters, and Victoria.
Thank you.
Yeah, Victoria, I've had the pleasure of working with on the business side with Farah and the Ladies Touch and the movement that they have going on. I've actually hosted them on the same set.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like she's awesome. And I'm not just saying this to blow smoke up your ass
Thank
because
you.
you're here, but like on an operation standpoint and the way that she understands business, the way that she sees it and how on point she is.
Yeah.
And for her age, right?
Yes.
To be in the position that she's in for the company that she's working for, because they're making moves and they're growing rapidly. And
That's right.
they're the talk of the town in the industry. Right?
That's right.
And for her to be the director of operations and in that position, I've been at lunches with her, like offside of set, and just asked her, like, what's going on, man? You know what I mean? Like, what
Yes.
are they feeding you at home? Where are you getting this from? Like, what's happening, right? So I'd like to tip my hat to you as a father and say,
Thank you, Nick.
I can only hope to do such a great job with my kids as they grow. But
You know,
she's
we
awesome.
appreciate the accolades very much. And you know, Marissa and I have been very tough on the kids. I mean, I've been a lot at work and she's spent a lot of time with the kids. And then, you know, you come home, you try to instill in them good values the best that you can.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's really dedication. It's really determination. It's figuring out how to build a better mousetrap if you really want to get ahead in life. And Victoria's figuring that out because she's not been there a very long time to have moved up so quickly. So she's dedicated. She was determined. She had vision. She said, you know, I want to go and do this thing and I want to do it the best that I can. But she's also like that in her personal life, right? It's something that once you become that person, it follows you. You know, you keep your room clean, which she does. She keeps her home spectacular. It's always nice. She needs to get something fixed on her car. She calls me, Dad, I need you to change my lights. Okay, Victoria, take it easy, man. I'm coming over tonight. Okay, relax. We'll do it Saturday. Like, I got no time. No. I want it done now.
Right.
That is part of her.
Right.
It's getting it done now.
Yeah.
And, you know, who doesn't like that? You're an employer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You want somebody that's got drive. You want somebody that's got spirit and determination. And Victoria has a lot of that.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, Simone has a lot of that too, the third one. She's a really, really committed kid. She comes in the kitchen. She's, okay, Mom, what do I need to do? Like, what do you want me to do? How can I help?
Nice.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's really, really good. My eldest one is, she works with me at my office.
Oh, cool.
And
cool.
she's pretty dedicated to what she's doing. And she
Nice.
likes what she's doing. But, you know, I got 3 kids. Nick,
Yeah.
you've got a couple of kids. You'll see that they grow up with what you instill in them, but yet they become different people.
Right.
And so somebody wants something that somebody else doesn't want doesn't mean that it's not right. It's just a different path. And Victoria might want to conquer the world and be the Prime Minister of Canada one day. Great.
Right.
My younger one might not want that. She may be content to just be in a different place.
Right.
Still good kids, still good values, just a different needs and wants that they have.
Right. Yeah.
Which is really what differentiates them.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I even mean, like, I'm seeing it now at a younger age. Like, whoa. Like, I've done the same things with you that I've done with you, but polar opposite style characters, right?
I got a twin, and we are completely different.
Okay. Wow.
Completely.
Yeah.
He's probably way smarter than me because he lives way better than I do because he knows how to live.
Right.
I'm dedicated to my business, my work. I'm chained to my desk. He's like calling me from Anguilla, come down, and we'll be here 2 weeks. And he's like, I think I'm going to go over here now.
He figured it out.
He's got it all figured out.
He's
got it all figured out.
Nice.
So that's how he wants to live his life. And I don't fault him for it. I mean, that's great for him. He's not into needing to do as much as, let's say, I want to do. That's cool.
Yeah, very cool. And you keep in really, really good shape, and you look a lot younger than what your age is.
Well,
I
thank
did some
you.
rough math when you shot those numbers. Oh, you don't look 55.
Thank you.
I would give you the original number and maybe even a little less, right? So what do you do to keep that in shape, right? What's your diet like, your workout routine? And
listen, I probably smoke and drink a little more than I should. That's the first thing I'm going to admit to.
Okay, yeah.
But what I do like to do is watch my diet. So my wife is a fantastic cook, chef. Call her what you will.
Yeah.
She's not a professional chef, but she could be.
Right.
So we eat extremely well at home. We rarely eat out. We rarely order in.
Okay.
But what I do, Nick, is I usually starve myself during the day because when I get home and she's made a meal, I want to eat the plate and the fork too. That's how I am. I want to get home. I got a great meal. I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
So I try to balance myself that way.
Right.
I don't like to eat a lot during the day. And I find that when
It's almost like unintentionally fasting?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Okay.
they came out with this idea about fasting. I got friends of mine. Oh, you got to do a fast. You got to do a fast. Bro, I've been doing this for 30 years. I don't eat when I go to work, have a coffee, and I don't eat. I come home, I eat. I eat dinner.
That's hilarious.
It is.
Nice. Hey, that's awesome, man. Well, it's working, right? You're
Thank
keeping
you.
in tip-top
Thank you.
shape.
It's been, as you get older, it's harder to take the weight off, believe me, and you got to watch even more, but we try.
Yeah, and again, tipping my hat to you on the fact that not only are you kicking some serious ass in the business space and doing a great job as a father, but it looks like you hold down an awesome relationship with your wife. I follow you guys on the socials, but then obviously I'm very close with your nephew David, and he tells me all about it. But that's like that's really awesome to see, you know, and later on in your relationship that you're able to be as in love with one another as you were, you know, in the honeymoon stages, right?
Oh, don't worry. Listen, she wants to kill me, and I'm going to kill her.
Yeah.
David just knows how to take good pictures.
No doubt.
No, it's a very good relationship. I love my wife. I couldn't have asked for a better woman. Picking her, we were young together. We were 18 when we started seeing each other, and we were high school sweethearts, and we came through that.
Oh, wow. Really?
We got married. Yeah. This will be our 30th anniversary in August, but we've actually been together 38 years.
Oh, wow.
So we've been together a very long time.
Okay.
But when I saw her, I thought she was the one for me. I think she felt the same way, and we made it happen. And like any marriage, you have your ups and downs, and there are days when she probably wants to strangle me, and I know there's days I want to strangle her, but I think that's common for the relationships that you have when you really do love somebody. It can't always be peaches and roses. It's just not reality. Yeah. And absolutely. She gets it and I get that, but we're on the same page, you know, Nick. The most important thing is we had the same goals, dreams, desires, and we had the same ideology of how to raise a family and the things that we wanted. The things that she wanted and I wanted were the same. We were on the same page. And that really, I think, really helps in a marriage, because there's already enough complications in, you know, being married and life that you need to be on the same page. So
aligned from day one. Very cool.
Yes, thank you.
And talk to me a little bit about the commercial space and what you're seeing on an overall, and what gets you up in the morning and excited, and some of the bigger sales, some of your clients. Like, it's just it's a whole different world. Like I said at the beginning,
it is. It really is a whole different world. I mean, my background for probably the first 20 years of my business, I was in the industrial business. So every time I run into somebody, it's like, oh my God, I know who you are. I see your sign all the time. You do, because I used to be in a lot of industrial business, and I worked in the Vaughan market predominantly, which is where I know most of my family and friends. So it's easy for them to know, see my signs. But the industrial business is really the catalyst to what I do today, because in that business, Nick, you start off small. You're leasing small units to guys that are starting businesses, or men, lady, women, doesn't matter. Whoever's starting a business or whoever's moving into space needs a requirement. And, you know, I did that from the ground up. And, you know, you start 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 feet. Then you start getting into some bigger deals. Then you start selling some bigger assets. You start leasing bigger product. And it became... It was fun for a long time, but around the 20-year mark that I was doing that business, I got very bored with it. It became the same shtick over and over, which was just, you know, open the lights to a building. You come into the building, you're the client. And I'm like, okay, Nick, it's 18 foot clear. There's 4 shipping doors. It's got 100 amps of service. It's got 5,000 feet of office. It's got 3 washrooms. You good? I'm good. Okay, that was hard to get me up in the morning anymore. I was really tough. Okay. So I changed my business about 10 years ago, and I said, you know, I want to do something that's a little bit more exciting. I've done this. I'm past I don't want to show buildings anymore and open lights. Like, I'll do it still, and there's still lots of money to be made in that industry. But 10 years ago, I said I want to work more on the development stuff and get into some raw land and do some type of development deals where you're dealing with builders and developers. You're underwriting assets in a different way. There's more methodology behind it in terms of numbers, how it works. You know, I'm going to build a condo tower. What am I selling out those numbers at? What's my cost of build? You know, what's my financing on it? As you guys know, probably done some of those deals. And that was really more intriguing to me. Yeah. So 10 years ago, I started going that way, and I started following that path and starting to do some of those deals. You mentioned deals that we've done. We sold the South northwest corner of 404 and Major Mac. That was a very big deal. It was a 90-acre site that we sold to a big developer who originally it was all slated for high rise, which he's taken it all now to low rise, which is brilliant. And so they're just building the model homes there now in the sales center there now. They're going to be coming out shortly. Cool. We sold the Hilton Garden Inn over by Highway 7 and Edgeley and in the VMC. That closed last year. That's a big deal. That was 1.4 million square feet of residential and hotel space, which traded for about $130 million. Wow. Which was a nice deal. And then we sold Green Park, 5 towers beside their existing site called Charisma on Jane Street. It was attached to Vaughan Mills. That was a big site that the sellers were trying to sell for probably 4 years on their own before they engaged us and our team to take it to market. So we ran a process. And when I say process, our process is to take that, package up all the information, build a data room that people can log into, and then start sending out a teaser flyer by email to all the development groups and builder groups. Say, guys, we have an opportunity. The owners have decided to sell this. They've hired us to do it. If you're interested, sign a CA or an NDA. We're going to get you into a data room and you can see all the information. And in that data room is geotechnical reports, environmental reports, building drawings, official plans, zoning bylaw amendments, everything that they've done with the site. And then we ask them to bid by a certain date. We say, now that you've seen all the information and you guys have all this stuff, you've got 30 days to give us a bid. We're calling a bid on, pick a day, April 29th. We're having bids. And that's how we were selling most of these sites.
A data room. So it's okay. So essentially, you'd build out like almost a website, and on that website,
it's in our data room. So it's like a website catered to that property, and we have all the files in there. As a builder developer, you need to know all the information you need to know before you make an asserted or a reasonably good offer. How are you going to get to that point? We want to give you the information first before you get to that point. So we don't want you to tie us up and then go do your due diligence. We'd rather you do your due diligence and then tie us up.
Right. Yeah, very cool. So do you work with these groups on a regular basis? Like those are the big boys, right? Those are the big builders.
Sometimes, Nick, we do small deals, big deals. We do what we can get our hands on. So I've been fortunate enough to know a lot of great people and a lot of good names in our industry that I'm sure you would have heard of. And we deal with the small guys too. I still have people that for 20 years, when I ran my business, my industrial business, I just sold a property for a guy. I've been doing business with him for 30 years. I have another guy up here in Maple, a family I've done business with, that they gave me listings when I was green in the business, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 square feet. The father still calls me. He goes, no, I want you to come and do this. Yeah. All right. I go, but no, you got to come. Yeah. Okay. I go because
very cool.
I understand that, they helped me out when they needed me, when I needed them, pardon me. Yeah. And now they want me to be there, and I'm going to be there.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's cool.
You have to reciprocate.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and especially that those relationships that stem back, right? And how much respect and loyalty that shows for you to stay
For sure. But they were good to me. I needed them. I needed that 5,000 feet. I needed that little small lease deal or that bigger lease deal or that sale. And you helped me out at a time that I needed it, and I'm not going to turn my back on you now. I'm not too big for my bridges. If I need to do it, I'm there. That's awesome. Anybody can call me anytime that I've done business with, and if they want me there, I will be there.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's so cool. Yeah. And what is that? What does it look like next? Like, that's very cool how you made that transition just 10 years ago on getting into this new space. Do you see that you're going to go the distance with this space that you're in now, or is there something new that's around the corner?
No, I think we're going to keep track of what we're doing. So myself and a senior guy in my office run a team of 7 people. So my partner, Frank Protomani, and I, we run a team of 7, and we have a planner on our team, and we have junior salespeople, and now actually they're not, some of them aren't junior anymore, where we're trying to run tranches of a business. So we're still going to do industrial business, but we're going to do it with one of the younger kids. We're still going to do leasing. We're going to do it with one of the younger kids. And so we're patching out the different lines of business we want. So right now we have one of our sales associates that's doing street front retail, let's say Midtown. Those are all development sites anyway. Really, they all become development sites when you're in the city, but they're doing street front retail, apartments on top, street, a couple of retail stores on the bottom. What's it worth? What can you sell it for? Do you sell it with the guy next door? Do you create a development opportunity? So we got one phase of that business. We have the other phase, which is our industrial sales and leasing, which we're still maintaining that business. And then we do our land business, whether it be high rise or low rise, that myself and my senior partner mostly look after, but we just brought on a young fellow. His name is Jordan Earls, to help us put together a path to how to get some of these deals done. So we have him calling certain areas that we want to get into. We want to break into the market, and we want to do low-rise deals, because I think low-rise is a very good asset class to be selling today. I don't think the high-rise land sales is the right place to be today. It's very hard to underwrite it. Okay. But I think low-rise is still something good that the developers want. And so if you can find a good piece, chase a good piece, there's good deals to be had. So I think I'm going to stick with that for now. It's been pretty good. I mean, but let me be very honest with you, Nick. I hate working. I just want you to know that. It's not like I want to go to work every day. It's just my dad didn't own a farm in Vaughan from 50 years ago that we could cash out for $100 million that I could sit on a beach. But otherwise, I don't want to work. Let's be clear.
Well, you do a very good job hiding that, right? Based on your success and your knowledge and how long you've been doing it for. So
I say to my kids all the time, you're going to wake up every morning and go to work no matter what. Because I don't have the ability to keep you at home. I can't fund your lifestyle. You have to get up and go to work every day. Yeah. You might as well be the best that you can be and figure out what you want to do. And if you want to work at Tim Hortons, or you want to stamp parts in a metal shop and that makes you happy, do it. Just do the best that you can. Yeah. But if you got to get up anyway, figure out how you might be able to do a little bit more. Yeah. Because it doesn't take that much. You just got to put a little effort, and you got to put a little thought behind it.
Yeah. Very nicely said. Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Very, very cool. And since you hate what you do,
I hate work.
Sorry, you hate work. When you throwing in the towel? When's the big retirement?
That's very funny, because my brother had me out to Anguilla with my wife and kids this December, and for 2.5 weeks, and I haven't really taken a 2-week vacation almost since our anniversary, since our wedding anniversary, year one. Like my honeymoon was almost the last time I've been away for 2 weeks. Although I did go to Italy at our 50th, which was our 25th anniversary. We went away for 13 days, but that was the only other time really that I've been away that long. So we're on the beach, and I'm in middle of December, and I'm there for 2 weeks now, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, shit, I could get used to this, man. This is pretty good. Eating, drinking, partying every day on a beach, relaxing, sleeping in. It was great. But I don't think I'm ready for that yet. Okay. I think I'd like to see me maybe do that transition around 60 if I could. Okay. But I have 3 young girls that, when they're not filming in Hollywood, the Kardashian show, they come and film it at my house. So there's lots of work that still needs to be done, because there's lots of bills to still be paid. I'll be doing this for a while yet.
Very cool. Very cool. That's awesome. So nice. And in regards to you coaching, going back to the Vic situation, right? Like the coaching on the business end and the operations end, and like, is there a lot of that happens, like that she comes to you for help, or hey pops, like
I think Victoria has come to me to value my opinion, or let me know where she's been in the loop or what she thinks. And has run it both, but by her mom and I think she's come to the both of us to say, this is a situation I'm with Farah, and, I'm doing this, and, I want to get this going. How do I do this? And we've kind of coached her a little bit. I'll say for the most part, she's done it on her own. She really has. I don't know if anything that we've told her has really influenced her in making the decision at work that's helped her get to where she gets.
Right.
That I don't know, but but we certainly, with all of them, you know, I tell Eva, my oldest one, the same thing. You know, is the coaching behind it, and how do you do more, and how do you do better within the time frame that you have?
Right.
How can you get to a place in your life that you feel content? And if you do, like I said, Nick, if you feel content working at Tim's or being under a punch press punching parts, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Everybody has to do something.
Yes.
What do you want to do? Do you want to do more? You grew up in a house that had the ability for you to do more.
Right.
I think I've done a little bit more than just a normal. I know if I was punching parts, I wouldn't be the place I am today.
Right.
And I'm not bashing anybody for doing that.
Right.
I just wanted more out of life.
Yes.
You do, then you got to figure out how to do it differently. If you don't, go do this. That's okay.
Yeah. Beautifully said. So nice. So in regards to commission structures, how does that look like in comparison to the residential market? And when you're looking at these transactions, we were talking a little earlier about $130 million transaction. What, like, is there bargaining that the buyers or the sellers try to do with you? Does that happen as often as it does in the residential piece?
Listen, the residential guys are the smartest guys, because they go in and they say, it's 5 points, take it or leave it. What are you doing beating me up? You don't beat me up. It's 5 points and that's it.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
Right.
I wish I was getting 5 points on a $130 million deal. Let me put it to you that way. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
The higher the scale value of the deal, the lower the fee percentage is.
Right.
And sometimes you're doing stuff for flat fees. Sometimes there is $1 million commission, but that commission might be on a $300 million sale, for example. Right. That's not a point.
Okay.
It's like a third of a point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Half a point.
Okay.
At $1.5 million. So it really depends. Our fees typically don't get past that kind of number.
Okay.
And then you're everywhere in between.
So you kind of cap out at $1 million.
Pretty much $1 million, $1.5 million if it's a really big deal, and then you're capped. It's very hard to get more than that.
Right.
I sold a $25 million property a couple of years back to a great client of mine. I was on that deal by myself. I made more money on that deal than I made selling a $130 million deal with my partners.
That out, eh? Wow. Yeah.
So that can tell you the difference in spreads. But your range is anywhere from 1% to 3%, depending on the asset class and depending on the value of the property.
Okay.
And a lot of times in commercial real estate, we're not sharing our fee with another broker, so we're not cooperating. Right? Because we have an exclusive listing on an asset. I know all the builders and developers. You own something, I'll take it to them. I don't need anybody else to take it to them.
Right.
And most of those guys want to deal with me directly if I have the listing, because they want to deal with they want it from the horse's mouth. Right? They don't want a middleman. And all the developers have their own acquisition departments anyway, and they have their own guys that buy and sell for them. Right. So they don't need another broker. So the fee scale is down. We never really get 5%, but we're not sharing 5% with another broker either. Right. So we're doing 1 to 3 depending on the size value of that deal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very good. Okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. Very cool.
That's awesome. And we, with us at CB, we're splitting, like, all the big houses typically take 50% of the fee. So if I generate $1 million commission on a deal, CB gets 500,000. Okay. Me and my team get the other 500,000. Right. So there's a big difference. The res guys get a fee. They keep 95% of it, 100%, 95, 5, 90, 10. I hear some numbers. My God. Yeah. It's incredible. Right?
And that's why we didn't take on that motto at Spark, because I was like, those margins are so razor thin. And then you're very reliant on the agents that are working with you. And they can, if they take off and bring a few people with them, it's like you lose those volumes, right? Yep. So, yeah. Well, wild.
Yeah, it is. Wild. CB gives us a lot, right? Our company gives us a lot. Everything's paid for, signage, long distance, this, that. You take a client for a fancy dinner, you get CB to, I'll write it off with CB because that was a dinner we had with somebody that bought something. And they do a lot. They do a lot for us too.
Right. Very cool.
And they've got a great name. It's the #1 commercial real estate company in the world. If I'm not mistaken, CB is bigger than its 2 second and third position guys combined.
Wow.
So whoever's in second and third would not as big as CBRE.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, they've done a good job.
Wow, that's very cool. And privately owned?
It was public. It used to be public, but now it's private. Yeah, out of the U.S. Had offices in the U.S.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. Yeah, and the executive vice president.
Yeah, don't tell my wife.
All right. So it was an absolute pleasure sitting down with you today. Thank you very, very much for your time. I'm sure the executive vice president of CBRE has a lot going on, so feel honored. And took in a lot of amazing information. I'm sure our audience is going to really enjoy this, and tell them where they could find out a little bit more about you or what you're doing. And
sure, absolutely. pat.viele@cbre.com. You guys can email me anytime. If you do go on this CBRE, if you Google CBRE and you go on the site, you'll be able to find our offices. You'll be able to find my name and number, which I can give to you anyway, but you'll find it there. And if anybody has any questions or any interest in wanting to know a little bit more, by all means, please reach out. Again, pat.viele@cbre.com. Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in for another episode of What Would It Cost? Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button. That's how we keep this moving. And yes, thank you again. See you next week.
Wait, Nick, I just want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure and an honor meeting you guys and sitting down with you and having a conversation like this. This isn't something I normally do, but I want you to know I really enjoyed myself.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.